Welcome to your January 2025 horoscope forecast. Happy birthday to all the Capricorns out there. January 3rd, we have Mars opposite Pluto. There can be conflict. So there's conflict between our thoughts and our desires and the actions we want to take. There could be a lot of arguments, a lot of push and pull dynamics within our relationships that day. January 4th, Sun sextile Saturn, and this gives us patience to achieve our goals. So we're becoming very patient on that day. January 6th, Mercury will square Neptune. There can be confusion within communication or missing important details. So it's not a good day for business or signing any contracts, as you can miss something important. January 13th, Sun will trine Uranus. We want to experiment with something new. We also have Mars retrograde, trining Neptune. So we are wanting to be creative, dreamy. We are very intuitive, but there's things we may need to go back to because of this Mars retrograde. So things from the past can come back into our lives to be dealt with. January 13th, we have a full moon in the sign of Cancer. January 14th, we have Venus square Jupiter. We can be feeling like we want to have a lot more fun. We don't want to be as responsible on that day. January 15th, Sun opposite Mars retrograde. So we need patience. There can be some competition, or, people of authority can get on our nerves a little bit or expect a lot of us. January 18th, Venus will conjunct Saturn. This can bring relationship issues and financial issues to the forefront. Even the stock market could go down. Money issues could be very prevalent on or around this day. January 19th, Mercury will sextile Saturn and Mercury will sextile Venus. Great day for socializing, relaxing, communicating. We are thinking very clearly. This is a really good day for business, for negotiating any kind of contract that you have going on, signing any documents, because we are really thinking clearly. January 21st, Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. We can have intense power struggles, problems with authority figures even. So this is a really packed full day where a lot of emotions could arise in us, a lot of anger even. January 23rd, Mercury opposite Mars retrograde. Conflicts can arise, impulsive communications, arguments, even power struggles can come out of this. January 25th, Venus trine Mars. This is great for romance and attaining what you desire. January 29th, Mercury will conjunct Pluto. There could be some research some people are working on, uncovering secrets coming out. Intense communication can be happening. And this is when we have a new moon in Aquarius. So heightened emotions, we can all be feeling a little bit more emotional and like things are becoming clear. Things are being revealed to us around the 29th, even in personal relationships. So watch for that day. January 30th, Uranus goes direct in the sign of Taurus. The Sun will trine Jupiter, bringing us new opportunities into our lives. Aries. Now, in the beginning of the month, the first few days, Mars retrograde will be in your 5th house. But from January 7th all the way until February 23rd, Mars is retrograding in the sign of Cancer. And this is your 4th house of home, family, mother, vehicles, at which you could notice a little bit of an uptick in arguments, maybe things breaking down in your home that you need to fix, redo. But this can bring up arguments. It can also bring up changes that happen out of the blue because the 8th house ruler is going into the 4th. The 1st house ruler is going into the 4th, so maybe you could decide to move in with someone. Something could suddenly transpire to make you want to move, redecorate, change your home around. And this is, of course, very important that you lock up your house, lock up your car, and watch anything that needs to be redone, refinished, especially when it comes to home stuff like the pipes, anything like that. You want to be more cautious of that. You want to be more cautious of arguments about money, about, even ego clashes within the home, within the family. And this is still lasting all the way until February 23rd. So this is a long one. It could even be that just people that you live with, they take their anger, their aggression out on you. So it's good to be mindful of that. Sometimes when we're more mindful and it's happening right in front of us, we can react in a different way than maybe we would. You don't want to say things you later will regret. Let's just put it that way. Now there is a full moon in the sign of Cancer on the 13th. And all of this is transpiring in your fourth house. So there is a new beginning here. So it could, like I said before, with that Mars there and this full moon happening, it could be a conclusion to something. There could be some kind of ending around maybe a work project. Maybe you're buying a new car. Maybe you're trying to move. Something happening within the family. We also have Sun trining Uranus. Something could just happen out of the blue. Now, watch also January 18th. Venus conjunct Saturn could bring money and relationship issues. In Aries for you, Venus rules your relationships, your 7th house, and it rules your 2nd house of income and possessions. And this is going into the 12th house where it's meeting up with Saturn. So things from the past could be coming up. There could be a bill, or maybe you are giving away some possessions, you're letting things go. And it could also be that secrets are exposed within close relationships, or you start a relationship behind the scenes. You don't want anybody to know, just the two of you. But this can actually bring up conflicts with money and relationships, or maybe because of money, there's relationship issues that are popping up around the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So be more watchful of that as well, because when we have Venus in the 12th house, things could be hidden from us. With Saturn meeting up there with Venus, it will need to be dealt with. It's something that needs to be dealt with. On January 29th, we have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. This is your 11th house. Now, on this day, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto, which can bring up intense communication. Secrets could be coming out. This is, of course, opposing your 5th house of love, romance, children. So this could be about a romantic partner, somebody you're dating. It could be about one of your children. But of course, it could really be through your friendship, the people that you speak to when you belong to groups, clubs, even online. There could be some secrets coming out, harsh communications, arguments even with friends. So be careful of this. There is a new beginning, so it could be new friendships, joining new club, maybe because of some secrets, some things that you learned or you want to deep dive into, you want to do research on even. So there is a new opening, a new beginning happening in your 11th house. But because of this Mercury conjunct Pluto, I would be very careful with your communication. A lot of anger and hostility could be coming from friends, friendship groups, even from your children, romantic partners, even people online. Or maybe it's that you are intensely focused on a goal. All right, Aries, I hope you have a great January. Taurus, in the first week of January, Mars is retrograding in your 4th house of home, family, mother, vehicle. So be more cautious of argument. Now, from January 7th until February 23rd, Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer in your 3rd house. So this is a time to be very cautious of your communications. There might be things that you need to redo, or maybe you want to get something else. If you bought any electronics, you might be getting new electronics, changing your mind about something. There could be communication issues, but be very careful driving, because people could be very hostile with you. You could be hostile with people because the 7th house is going into the 3rd and the 12th house is going into the 3rd. So the house of losses is going into the house of communication. There could be losses on account of, maybe even driving. Be careful of driving, getting tickets. Be careful of theft, and be careful of the words and how you exchange words with other people, especially opponents, people you don't like, people within your neighborhood, your siblings, because Mars retrograde, especially in the sign of Cancer, brings up a lot of anger and hostility within everybody. There is a full moon in the sign of Cancer on January 13th. Now, Mars retrograde is trining Neptune, so maybe some things that were kept secret come out when it comes to the 3rd house, and this could have to do with social media. It could have to do with education, siblings, your neighborhood, or any electronic devices, any websites, any blogs. So just be more cautious when it comes to being out and about, driving, communication. Maybe you are letting go of outdated equipment, outdated phones, computers. Be mindful of how you exchange words with other people. January 18th, Venus will conjunct Saturn. This can bring on relationship issues with money, with finances. This around the 17th, 18th, and 19th, even the stock market could go down. And for you, this is the 11th house of groups, friendships, organizations. So there could be some communication breakdown with friends, with clubs you belong to, but it is opposing your 5th house. So be very careful. Watch your investments, because that's what the 5th house rules, is investments, your children. But there could be issues with money and relationship issues that come up around January 18th, or maybe some financial issues that need to be resolved. January 29th, we have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is happening in your 10th house of career and public image. So there could be new doors opening up for you when it comes to career, how you present yourself to the world. But I want you to be very, very cautious on or around this day, because we have Mercury conjunct Pluto. All right. And this can bring on intense communication. Maybe you are researching something, uncovering some secrets at work. Secrets could be coming out, but this can also complicate relationship, especially with employees, with superiors, people of authority. So be careful with your communication with the public, with people that you work with. Some anger might come out from those that you are working with. You might react in an angry way, or you might find something out that makes you a little bit mad. I hope that January goes well for you, Taurus. Gemini, January is starting out with Mars retrograde for the first week, still in your 3rd house, so be cautious of any kind of communication. Online, offline, be careful driving, maybe miscommunication with friends, with groups of people that you work with. There could be some things that need to be redone, especially when it comes to education, websites, blogs, any kind of courses that you are taking. With that Mars retrograde in your 3rd house, some anger could come up with siblings, even with neighbors, with coworkers, and with friends. This really is a month where a lot of hostility can come up. From January 7th all the way until February 23rd, Mars is retrograding in the sign of Cancer, which is your 2nd house of finances and possession. And this is where your 11th house of groups, friendships, hopes, and dreams is going into your 2nd house. And your 6th house of service, work, debt, enemies is going into your 2nd house. And this could be unexpected bills. There's a debt that needs to be paid, or maybe you are trying to start something new, a new business venture, something like that, maybe even online. And there's things that need to be redone, reanalyzed. You have to go through them. But this really does have to do with finances for you. So there could be tension with friends, with co-workers as well, over money, over possessions, maybe over how many hours you're getting at work for some of you. But this does have to do with finances, even possessions for a lot of you. So watch your possessions more closely. Watch your spending, Geminis. This can also represent you just spending too much, or maybe you have to spend on account of legal dealings, on account of starting a new business, something, even hopes and dreams for your future you're spending money on. But this can also create a lot of anger within the home. The 2nd house also rules close family members, so be careful how you talk to people. You could say things that you later regret. There is a full moon in your 2nd house on January 13th. Mars retrograde will trine Neptune, so you are going to get creative insights into maybe what you should do financially on or around the 13th. But with that Mars retrograde, there could be things that you need to really prepare you haven't done yet when it comes to finances for this insight that you have. Maybe there's like a dream job that you are aiming for, and you're going to have to really write down all the little details, go over your plan twice, 3 times, before it is really set to go. This could be a time where you might have to pay out some money, let go of a resource that you have had, maybe some possessions. This is a good time to get rid of possessions that you no longer want, you no longer use. Around the 18th, Venus conjunct Saturn is actually on the 18th, but even a little bit before, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, there could be relationship issues and financial issues, even within the stock market, really for everybody. But for you, it's happening in the 10th house, and there could be some kind of work situation that is not working the way that you thought, especially financially. Maybe that's why you are searching for new ways to maybe make money, whether it is a side hustle, your own business. Around the 18th, there could also be some breakdowns in communication with superiors, with coworkers, so be careful with that, as well as all types of relationships. Relationships really may seem very rocky all of January. With Mars going retrograde, Venus conjuncting with Saturn, there could be a lot of tension within relationships. And for you, even at work, the relationships you have with the people that you work with or with the public. Now we have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius on January 29th, happening in your 9th house of higher education, spirituality, travel. Now we also have Mercury conjuncting Pluto on this day, and there could be intense communication. You could be researching a topic, maybe about a book you want to publish, a course you want to start. Secrets could be coming out. The secrets could be coming out from your father or your father's side of the family even. Now, be very careful. When Mercury conjuncts Pluto, we can have even fights, arguments. For you, it would be teachers with the father, maybe any court or legal case that you're involved in. Be very cautious at the very end of January of how you communicate with people. So now that you know, you're aware of it, people may try to stir up a lot of emotional feelings in you around the end of January. So just be aware of that. So if there are big issues that come up around the 29th. Just be more cautious with your words, how you speak to people. But of course, this could also indicate that there's something going on in the life of your father. If you are traveling, there could be more complications with travel plans, things that need to be completely redone or done in a completely different way, or visa paperwork, schooling paperwork, anything like that. Because of that Mercury conjunct Pluto, it could bring up intense feelings, intense emotions. There is a new beginning for you in the 9th house area. So while around the 29th, things might seem a little rocky or communication may be rocky, there is a new beginning for you. Whether you want to teach a course, take a course, travel, get a passport, or maybe even connect with people from all walks of life, Gemini, or publish your work, there's a new beginning opening up for you. So this is really fantastic for even getting into books, learning something new, sharing your ideas with the world, with the public, or even traveling, just broadening your views. So that's where the new beginning is for you. And Venus, most of the month, is in your 10th house. So the joy will come from how you present yourself to the world, making contacts for business, in work, and within your field, as well as maybe even just starting something on your own, or maybe going out with colleagues. That's really where the happiness will come from in January, is immersing yourself in knowledge as well as your work, what you do for a living. And I hope that January is fantastic for you. Cancer, January will start out with Mars still retrograding in your 2nd house of possessions and finances. So your 10th house ruler in the 2nd, your 5th house ruler in the 2nd, and there could be creative self-expression that is turning into a business for you, and you are just fine-tuning your plans. But there could be arguments, disagreements within the home. You could have already felt this on or around money, possessions, and this can continue the first week of January. January 3rd, Mars will oppose Pluto, which can bring a lot of friction with finances, money, possession, opposing joint finances. So this could be over money with a spouse, a partner, business partner. It could even involve intimacy, maybe family drama, family fights that you might want to just steer clear of. But Cancer, this will be your year. January will be a tough month for everyone. So it is just wise to find ways to decompose, de-stress, because there is going to be a lot of things that get on your nerves this month. January 7th until February 23rd, retrograding Mars is going into your 1st house, where now your 5th house of creativity, love, romance, children, speculative gains like stock market is going into the 1st house, and your 10th house ruler is also going into the 1st house. So you could be completely changing your look, how you present yourself, maybe because you want to start a new career, start something creative. But I want to warn you to be just more cautious when you're out and about. Mars in the 1st house can make us hasty, can make us more angry, because you get a lot of energy. But with Mars retrograde, it could be the opposite, where you could just be feeling sluggish, like you don't know what to do when it comes to a romantic partner, a child, or even a creative venture that you started, as well as your career. Your career could be changing. Things around your career could be changing. You want to present yourself in a new way. So you want to maybe change your looks, your wardrobe. And children, romantic partners, bosses, superiors could kind of piss you off. You could piss them off. There could be a lot of anger and aggression really coming from everybody in the month of January. And because this is your 1st house, be careful driving, be careful doing any kind of physical activity, because you could be more prone to getting hurt, or just be more argumentative with people, or they could just start things with you and you want to just, clear the air, say things, but I would be very cautious how you word things in January and even February. Now, there's also a full moon in your sign on January 13th. Mars retrograde is trining Neptune, so there's a lot of creativity with this. Intuitive insights, something that comes out that maybe changes your mind about a career prospect even, or what you want to do within your career. Maybe you're letting go of an old identity, old self-image, and you're creating a new one. It could start with simple things such as a wardrobe. You get a lot of creativity, imagination, and you're like, I want to be like this from now on. I want to do this for work from now on. For you, it really ties into work, as Mars is the ruler of your 10th house, your public image. So it could be because you want to change your public image, you want to present yourself in a new way. So you are letting go of the old you. So for a lot of you, this could be happening. For some of you, it could be changing jobs, or maybe there's new creative ventures that you want to start that are just for you, something that you love, a hobby. January 18th, Venus will conjunct Saturn. This is happening in your 9th house of higher education, travel, publishing, spirituality. But Venus conjunct Saturn can bring up money issues, really, for all of us around the world. Like stock market could go down on or around this day. Relationship issues can be happening, and for you it could be with a father figure. This could also be with some teachers, or maybe if you are publishing work, you're starting a course, or you want to move abroad, get your passport, fill out applications for college, for school. There might be some hiccups that come along, but be more mindful of any and all relationships. January 17th, 18th, 19th, as issues with relationships can come up, or even financial issues, financial hardships, something that needs to be redone, or maybe you thought more money was coming in through a course that you made, or through a publishing deal that now you have to reanalyze things because that's not what is happening. Remember, Mars is retrograding in your sign. So really, for you, all the way until February 23rd, there's a lot of things that you're going over, whether it is relationships, whether it is romantic relationships, even colleague, people that you work with, people that you hire. A lot of things could be changing for you. So be careful how you use your words this month, because it's just more anger and hostility could really be happening on or around everywhere, and really on a collective level. There is a new moon in Aquarius in your 8th house on January 29th. Now, this is also when Mercury will conjunct Pluto, which can also bring up intense communications, and secrets could come out, or you're just really digging deep into something that you are studying, maybe occult knowledge, some occult subject. But be careful of communication issues on or around this day, because intense feelings and emotions can be coming up from your partners, from family members, and this could have to do with money, joint finances, how you share resources, how you share time. There could be a lot of, fights, arguments around joint finances, who pays what, who does what. So just be more mindful how you use your words again, and double check everything. But on or around January 29th, you could be learning, uncovering a secret. And this can have to do with finances. But there is a brand new beginning opening up for you when it comes to intimacy, joint finances, occult knowledge, learning secrets of the world, because that is what the 8th house is, as well as a new opening for a huge transformation, be it through money, through relationships, or through research, something that you are studying, with Venus in the 9th house for the entirety of the month, basically, for you. The joy for you will come from learning new things, spirituality, talking to people from all walks of life, even taking a trip of some sort, or just getting immersed in a book, learning something new, or even teaching something to somebody else. That's where the happiness that will be found in the month of January for you, Cancer. And I really hope that this is a good month for you. Leo, January starts out where we still have, for the very first week, Mars retrograding in your first house. So the ruler of your 9th house of spirituality, higher education, travel, teaching, publishing is retrograding in your first house, and you could be rethinking your whole philosophy on life, travel plans, as well as maybe even there could be hiccups in any legal cases, legal matters. And same thing with your 4th house. Your 4th house ruler, your home, your family, mother, vehicles is in your first house, and there could be a lot of planning to move, rethinking where you live, who you want to live with, and there could also be some troubles in these departments. Now, really watch out for January 3rd, when Mars retrograde will be exactly opposite of Pluto in your 7th house, where relationship arguments, fights, disagreements can really come up for you to review how you deal with relationships. Are these the right relationships? And this can have an impact on you. You know, for some of you, home-wise, how you feel about your home, where you want to be, who you consider your family. There could be some hiccups, and they could just be with business partners, with people that you deal with. So it's not a good day for any business kind of venture, or if you're signing any contracts on or around the 3rd, be watchful of that, as arguments can come up on or around this day. Now, January 7th all the way until February 23rd, Mars is still retrograding, but in the sign of Cancer now, in your 12th house, where now the ruler of your 9th house of higher education, legal dealings, the father, this is also travel, schooling, it's going into the 12th house of losses. So there could be losses on account of travel, on account of school, on account of publishing, even a publishing deal, or maybe you are working on something behind the scenes, or you could feel like there is a loss there, or even on account of a legal judgment of some sort for some of you. The 4th house ruler is also going into the 12th house, means there could be expenditures with the home, with the vehicle, on account of family members, or there is some secret, something going on behind the scenes. When Mars is in the 12th house, we can have a hard time sleeping. People could be gossiping about you, or you could hear gossip about yourself from other people. Now, this is also a time where just more rivals, more enemies, more competitors could show up in your life. It's also a time where you could just spend more money, or bills come up. Things can come up for review. It can also be a time where you learn of a secret, or you're just keeping something you are working on for the home, for publishing, for school, just close to the vest. Actually, I would really advise that if you are working on something, maybe from January till the end of February, I would keep it to yourself. The less you tell everybody, the better. There's also a full moon on January the 13th in your 12th house. So there's a culmination to something, an ending to something, and it could be because you find something out, you're paying something off. This can be when it comes to the home, when it comes to teaching, travel, passport. So you are releasing something. Now, the best case scenario is you finally learn how to release all your negative thinking patterns, because the fourth house ruler going into the 12th, you could also be right now releasing, maybe because you had a fight with a family member, a fight with a significant other. You are now realizing what you've been holding on to since childhood, and you could release it. And Mars will trine Neptune. So a lot of your answers can actually come to you through dreams, or when you are just immersing yourself in a creative hobby. You can get a lot of intuitive insights into how to solve all your problems. So pay attention to the songs you hear, reoccurring numbers, your dreams, very important on or around the 13th. Watch out January 18th for more relationship issues. Financial issues could be coming up because Venus is conjoining with Saturn in your 8th house of joint finances, and this could have to do with your partner's money. So an intimate relationship, even where there is some problems coming up for review on the 18th. But really your joy will come from immersing yourself, researching subject, whether it be occult matters or financial matters. Saturn is this cold planet of restriction, so there could be restrictions with money for some of you. Maybe money through inheritance, through stocks, bonds, or the money that you share with your partner. So watch out for that. This month, really, for everybody collectively, can be a month of, more arguments, more hostility, more anger. It's a new moon on January 29th in your 7th house. So there's a new beginning when it comes to relationships, and it could even just be business relationships that you form with coworkers, with the public. For those of you in business, it could be new clients coming to you. On the 29th, when we have this new moon, we have Mercury coming together with Pluto. Intense communications can be going on, whether it be with clients, business partners, but particularly watch your close relationships, your spouse, your partner. There could be arguments and tension, secrets coming to light. Even your business partners can push your buttons right at the end of the month. But there is a brand new beginning coming to you, and you'll probably see it unfold early February, a new beginning, whether it's new clients, a new relationship even coming to you, or you finally, repairing bonds that you already have. You could be meeting somebody because Pluto, just entered your 7th house. Now there's this new moon, so there's a brand new start there. Leo, I hope January goes really well for you. Virgo, January starts out with Mars retrograde still in your 12th house of losses, hidden enemies, and it's the place where we retreat away from the world. So you may really enjoy spending more time alone, relaxing. You may even be feeling a bit more sluggish as your 3rd house, the ruler of your self-efforts, is going behind the scenes. So maybe you are taking action on something that you want to do behind the scenes, keeping it close to your vest, not telling people what you are doing. Or it could just be that you're feeling a bit more sluggish, more lazy. You may have a hard time sleeping. Now also, January 3rd, we have Mars retrograde opposite Pluto. This is conflict between our thoughts, actions, and desires, and can bring conflict with a competitor, an enemy. It can even bring up conflict when it comes to joint finances, conflict with a sibling, a neighbor. So watch how you speak to people at work. Try to blow things off if people are, maybe being rude to you, as to avoid a bigger conflict. Because you also have the 8th house ruler going into the 12th house that first week. So you guys could have been through the month of December and even the first week of January spending a lot more money. Or there could be issues with joint finances. But in Vedic astrology, actually, this is really good for long-term investments. Some of you may actually be thinking about making a long-term investment or putting some of your money into the stock market, which could pay later down the line. From January 7th until February 23rd, Mars retrograde is in the sign of Cancer, your 11th house of hope, dreams, groups, friendships, even social media, and the love that you receive from other people. There can be conflicts within groups, within friendship, even with an older sibling. But this could also have to do with money, joint finances that are going to a cause, a group, or charity, and some conflicts can be coming up there. Your third house ruler going into the 11th house from January 7th until February 23rd tells me that there is maybe issues for you when it comes to promoting yourself on social media, or you are really working hard on this and there's stuff to review, redo, maybe building a website, trying to get a bigger following. There could be issues that come up and need to be dealt with when it comes to your self-effort to get you to where you want to go, because the 11th house is also our hopes and dreams. So right now, maybe you are seeing that you actually need to put in a lot more effort to get exactly where you want to be. And this can cause some frustration within you, but it's really going to get you moving. You're going to see exactly what you need to do. And you need to go more within right now and plan things out. Because when Mars is retrograde, we could be feeling sluggish. We could have ideas coming to us, but we don't know exactly what to do to make them work. So we can try a lot of things until we finally find what works. Virgo, there is also a full moon in the sign of Cancer, your 11th house, on January 13th. This could be an ending to a friendship, maybe an ending to a social media endeavor you had, or you are finally presenting something that you have been working on to the public and you are going to get some reactions. But this can also bring up a lot of creativity for you if you are working on something on social media, presenting something, because Mars retrograde is trining Neptune, and this can bring you a lot of creativity and intuitive insights into exactly what it is that you need to do to fulfill your hopes and dreams, especially when it comes to the public, friendships, what you want for your future in your career. So right now, the sun will also trine Uranus. So you will want to experiment with new ways to reach your hopes and dreams, and watch for signs, synchronicities, anything like that, because these intuitive insights will be coming to you. When the moon is in the sign of Cancer, it's very intuitive anyways, because that is its home. It feels very comfortable in the sign of Cancer. So watch any intuitive insights that you receive around the 13th, 14th, even as to how you should proceed with anything that you are hoping, dreaming of, where you want to go in life, because you will be given big insights for this. January 18th, Venus will conjunct Saturn in your 7th house. This is the house that rules your relationships, also business partnerships, relationships with clients, and this day can bring up relationship issues, financial issues, maybe a business deal not going the way that you want. Not a good day for business negotiations of any kind on the 18th. But this can also bring up issues with relationships where you feel less than, you feel unloved, because whenever Venus is conjunct with Saturn, Venus is starved. It doesn't get the affection that it is desiring and wanting, whether that be through relationship, through business partnerships, through the way that the public views you. But this is all to make us grow, to turn within for that self-love, so that you can finally see that you need to stop seeking outside validation from other people. This can be a day where, we feel a little bit more humbled. So I would not try to do any kind of business on or around the 18th or 19th of January. Since Venus is in your 7th house, relationships and partnerships is actually where you will be seeking out the joy in this month. Some of you could even start dating, taking a relationship more seriously to the next level, because at the same time, Venus and Saturn coming together will make you think very seriously about love and relationships, the good and the bad. There is a new moon in Aquarius on January 29th in your 6th house of health and work, and you are either starting a new dietary program, trying to get organized, hiring new people, or there's a new work project. But be very careful on that day, January 29th, because Mercury, your ruler, is conjuncting with Pluto. This can bring up intense communications, maybe even arguments at work, or maybe you feel like you are doing too much, other people aren't doing enough. This can also mean you are transforming your health, your body. You are taking all this stuff more seriously. Maybe you're doing some research. Secrets could be revealed to you as well. Secrets about a competitor, somebody who is maybe gossiping about you behind your back. Secrets at work. Maybe this will reveal to you how you should proceed, but watch your communication with other people, because this can bring up a lot of fights, a lot of arguments. And since your ruler is going into the 6th house and meeting with Pluto, this can also bring up huge transformations with health, with work, with how you are going to go about it in the future. So this is an excellent time to let go of negative thinking patterns, let go of any bad habits, any bad eating habits, any addictions. Pluto will help you transform all of that and turn it into something good, something better. I hope January is fantastic for you, Virgo, and Happy New Year. Libra. The first week of January, Mars retrograde is still in your 11th house of groups, friendships, organizations, and maybe you are spending money on future hopes and dreams. You are building your social media. You are partnering with groups, with friends on a project, but there could also be arguments within a friendship circle, within a friend group, a group you belong to, a charity, about money, finances, business deals for some of you. It can even be a friendship turning romantic, or a friendship turning sour because of romance, or a partnership, or maybe people getting together. Something like that could be going on for a few of you. The important thing here, though, is January 3rd, Mars retrograde is opposing Pluto in your 5th house of love and romance, children, creativity, the stock market. This could bring up a lot of fights with that Mars retrograde, maybe even people from the past. You are thinking about people from the past that you dated could show up into your life. So this can bring up a lot of tumultuous feelings, a lot of arguments, or just harsh words exchanged between you and a romantic partner, a past romantic partner, even a friend. So be watchful on or around January 3rd, because this is a month where everybody could be very argumentative, very disagreeable, and a lot of fights could erupt over things that were said, things that were unsaid. So be watchful of that from January 7th all the way until February 23rd. Mars retrograde will be in the sign of Cancer in your 10th house of career and public image. So now we have your 2nd house of self-esteem, finances, going into the 10th house, and your 7th house of romantic relationships, business partnerships, clients, going into the 10th house. And this planet is retrograding. So there could be some uneasy feelings for some of you about where you are in your career, the money that you make, your public image even. You may want to have change happen within your career. But when Mars is retrograde, we feel sluggish. We might be having to redo things, work twice as hard to see the results that we want. The results could pay off if we are working diligently, working hard. It could also be that there is disagreements in a business partnership, or a romantic relationship could be taking a back seat because you are trying to pursue a career endeavor and things might need to be redone to make them work better. But this can also bring up arguments with authority figures, arguments with the people that you work with, maybe even you wanting to leave a job, do something else. Your ambition can be high at one point and very low at one point. You may be flip-flopping right now, have a lot of indecision about what you want to do. But be very cautious of the way that you speak to people, your superiors at work, because there could be a lot of anger coming from these people, even from family and relationships, because this Mars retrograde is also opposing your fourth house of home, family, mother. So you could feel like there's a lot of arguments within the family, within the home, maybe because of your work schedule, what you're doing for work. There is a full moon in Cancer on January 13th in your 10th house. On this day, Mars retrograde is trining Neptune, and you could be getting downloads, creative visions, intuitive insights about what to do for your career, how to pursue it. This can be a time where some of you are letting go of a job, getting let go of a job, or even you have these insights as to what you should do in the future. Maybe you are presenting something to the public. You just finished a project for some of you. January 18th, Venus is conjuncting Saturn in your 6th house. You are ruled by Venus, Libra, and your ruler is going into the 6th house and conjuncting with Saturn on the 18th. So there could be relationship issues that come up for review, financial issues, or maybe even issues at work. But financial issues could be coming up right now because the 6th house is the house of debt. A lot of you could be trying to pay off debt or rework some kind of a budget. This can also be something with your health that comes up that you need to take care of. It could just be a day where you are not feeling like yourself, or maybe you are feeling a little bit down about your financial situation, about your look. Saturn will starve Venus. So we are feeling less loved. We're feeling like we're not good enough, but it's just really all in our head. It's to make us turn within and to realize that everything comes from the inside. We shouldn't seek outside validation. But on a mundane level, this could be a health issue, a financial issue that you are having to deal with, and there could be some hiccups on or around the 18th. But with Venus being in your 6th house, this is a time where you want to get organized. You want a budget plan. You want to create better habits for yourself. On January 29th, we have a full moon in Aquarius on this day. Mercury will meet with Pluto, and this can be a time where you are maybe fighting about children, about a creative project with your partner, or there could be communication issues with the person that you are dating. Even your children, be careful how you use your words on or around this day, because a lot of arguments could be coming up. Or maybe communication from a past love interest, or maybe coming from a child over your investments or some creative project you have going on. But this is a new beginning, maybe a new beginning with a new romantic partner, or maybe you guys are planning to have a child, start a new creative project. There is a new opening happening for you in the 5th house area. But at the same time, it could start in a very dramatic way with some arguments or something that comes up that you need to deal with. It could also be that a secret is found out, because this is the ruler of your 12th house of secrets, what's hidden beneath the surface, meeting with Pluto, the planet of transformation in your 5th house. A transformation in a relationship with a child, with a romantic partner. Be more careful with your words this month. A lot of people will be angry and on edge this month, Libra. I hope you have a great January and Happy New Year. Scorpio, we start out with the first week of January, where Mars is retrograding in your 10th house of career and public image. There could be issues with superiors, with colleagues, with people you work with, things that you are working on for your career that you need to redo, reorganize, maybe reanalyze. Your first house ruler going into the 10th suggests that you are really working on some career goal right now. And your 6th house going into the 10th house could be you really having some obstacles with the people that you work with the public right now. Really watch out for January 3rd. Mars retrograde is opposing Pluto in your 4th house. And this can bring issues and fighting in the home, fighting with superiors, with bosses, with colleagues, or some kind of opposition coming from home and family or career even. So just watch how you speak to people. This really in January is a month where a lot of people can be on edge, aggravated, frustrated with the way that things are going. January 7th through February 23rd, Mars retrograde is moving into your 9th house, into the sign of Cancer. And the 9th house is publishing, philosophy, higher education, travel, schooling, teaching, and it's the house of the father as well. So from January 7th until February 23rd, there could be issues that come up with classes, with travel plans, passports, any kind of litigation, maybe even fighting with teachers, fighting with the father, or having to redo something, reanalyze some kind of course you are taking, or you are teaching. Maybe even your travel plans can go a little bit haywire. So be more cautious of this from January 7th until February 23rd, Scorpio. There is a full moon in the sign of Cancer, your 9th house of higher education, philosophy, spirituality, on January 13th. So not only is Mars working up this house for you in January and in February, but there is some kind of an ending happening here. It could be an ending to you finally finishing up some schooling. Maybe you are publishing some work and it is finally complete. But the good news here is that Mars retrograde is trining Neptune. So you can get creative downloads, intuitive insights. Watch for songs, synchronicities, numbers that you see. They could be speaking directly to you, as that is what the 9th house is. It's the house of luck, about what you should do, what you should teach, publish, study, maybe who you should be talking to. So that is fantastic. Don't miss the signs. They'll be all over the place. January 18th, we have Venus conjuncting with Saturn in your 5th house of creativity, children, the stock market. Romantic partners also fall into the 5th house. This can be a day where relationship issues come up. Also financial issues, so maybe something in the stock market isn't going the way that you planned. This is not a good day for any kind of business negotiations, but it can also be a day where you're taking maybe an existing relationship to the next level. Your children are demanding a lot more of you, or maybe even financially depending on you. There could be some hiccups within this area for you this month. But at the same time, the fact that Venus is in your 5th house for the month of January means romance, having fun, creativity is what's going to bring you joy. It's just going to be more structured for you, Scorpio. There is a new moon in Aquarius, which is your 4th house of home and family, on January 29th. A brand new beginning. Maybe you're moving, buying a vehicle, someone's moving in with you, starting something out of your home. There's a new beginning when it comes to home and family. But on that same day, Mercury is conjuncting Pluto. This can bring up intense communication, some research, or maybe even some family secrets coming out. You can learn about some family secrets, or they can learn about some of your secrets. The communication can be intense. So there's a new beginning, but it's starting off with like a rough start, like something that jolts you, where you are feeling very intensely passionate about it. You want to talk about it. So it is a really good time to really focus on communication this month, Scorpio, because not only you, but everybody can be on edge because your ruler right now is a retrograde. So you can be feeling more sluggish, like you don't have as much energy to get everything done. But that is because it's meant to have you go within, reanalyze everything in your life so that when it finally goes direct, when Mars goes direct, you know exactly what to do. I hope January goes well for you, and Happy New Year, Scorpio. Sagittarius, January will start out with Mars retrograding in your 9th house for the first week of January. So be careful of conflicts with teachers, with the father, with the legal system in general, or any travel plans as they may go kind of haywire a little bit. Now, what you need to watch out for is January 3rd. Mars retrograde will be exactly opposite of Pluto in Aquarius. So this is the day where you may notice people are more agitated. They want to start fights with you. Even you can want to fight and bicker with people. There could be issues with electronics, with schooling, with travel. So just be on the lookout for people being a little bit more on edge on or around that day, but really all of January. So now that you know, you can be more prepared, that people just might seem a little bit more angry, and even you may seem a little bit more angry, more pessimistic, especially that first week of January. January 7th until February 23rd, Mars will still be retrograding, but now in the sign of Cancer. This is your 8th house. The 8th house is shared resources, intimacy. It is taxes. So there could be even letters that you get where you owe something on taxes, something wasn't figured out in the right way. There may be problems, issues with shared finances. Now, the 12th house ruler going into the 8th, this could have something to do with the stock market. Maybe you are putting in spending money, into the stock market, into future wealth kind of areas, even filling out paperwork for insurance policies, things like that. The 5th house ruler also going into the 8th house suggests that there could be issues with child custody payments. This could also be you spending money on your children, maybe investing something with your children or for one of your children. But this really does suggest that there is money moving, and it could be money moving that you are spending, having to spend on account of children, on account of something that you owe, or it could just be you investing. But be very cautious because there might be things that you need to look through, redo. There is a full moon in your 8th house as well on January 13th. This might be a day where you could lose money, have to pay something out, or it can be a day where your investments aren't doing so well, so just be careful. But this can also be a day where you get intuitive insights into what you should do in a financial situation, or maybe you should be studying some more occult knowledge. Some of you might really benefit from opening up to some new occult education or working out any kind of issues that you have through learning something new. January 18th, Venus is conjuncting Saturn. Now, whenever Venus conjuncts Saturn, Saturn will star Venus. So there could be relationship issues and financial issues that come up on or around this day. If you do have money in the stock market, there's a business deal you are working on, from the 13th through the 20th is not a good time. It can even be a time when the stock market seems down, it goes down, but it can be a time where you are planning to put some money into the stock market. With Venus being in your 4th house, this shows me that even though there may be some issues that pop up with relationships, you are going to find a lot of joy being at home, redecorating your home, just spending more time at home with family. This is where the joy will come from in the month of January. There is also a new moon in Aquarius on January 29th, which is in your 3rd house. So there's a brand new beginning. Maybe you are promoting yourself, building a website. This could be you at the very end of January, even in February, buying some new equipment, buying a new cell phone, a new computer, a new tablet. But be careful at the very end of January. January 29th and 30th, Mercury will conjunct Pluto, and this can bring on intense communications, secrets coming out. It could be with your siblings, your neighbors, your co-workers, and people could just be angry with you. So be careful with any online communication, as you may arouse some anger with people with the way you word things, the way you say things. Or these people could be doing this with you. So just be mindful of your words in the month of January. I hope you have a happy new year. Capricorn, January will start out with Mars retrograding in your 8th house of joint finances, intimacy, occult knowledge, and there could be transformations within friendship circles, because the 11th house is going into the 8th house. Maybe even fights, or you are starting a new business venture, some of you, or a study group, maybe occult knowledge with a friend, a friendship circle. The 4th house going into the 8th tells me that through the month of December and the first week of January, there's a lot of transformation happening within the family, within the home. And it could have to do with finances, how you guys share finances together. Really watch out for January 23rd, because Mars retrograde is exactly opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And this is bringing up 2 of your financial houses. There could be issues with family, fights with family, and it could be about money, about possessions. So this can bring up a lot of fights, secrets, things coming to a light, and you could get very weird reactions from people. They could start picking fights with you. So just be careful how you word things this month, because this month suggests everybody is on edge. January 7th all the way until February 23rd, Mars retrograde is going into the sign of Cancer, which is your 7th house of relationships, the house of business partners, business relationships, the house of opponents as well. The people who are against you, your competition even. And this is the house of clients. So we have the 11th house, groups and friendships, now going into the 7th house with Mars retrograding. There could be issues with friends, maybe friends turning into opponents for some of you. I would be careful what you share and what you don't share January and February, Capricorn. If there is something you are working on, keep it to yourself, because you may arouse competition, jealousy in other people, especially when you talk about it a lot. But a lot of you could be having more arguments, more friction within your relationships from January 7th until February 23rd. This can also be where a friend turns into more of a romantic partner. Now, normally I say that with Mars in the 7th, you have to keep doing active stuff in order to avoid friction, in order to avoid arguments. But with Mars being retrograde, everybody's feeling a little bit more sluggish, but at the same time, if you are having more arguments within relationships, within friendships, doing active stuff with these people will help a little bit. So try that. But we also have the 4th house ruler going into the 7th. So there could be opposition from family members, and it could be with a business that you're starting, with somebody that you're dating. Maybe they are not liking them as much as you thought. This can bring up a lot of attraction for you with a partner, with somebody else that you're talking to. But of course, this brings up a lot of opposition, a lot of arguments. This is actually a time where it is just wise to watch what we say to people, because a lot of times we can't take back our words and people will make you angry. January, February, you could also bring out a lot of anger within other people, or it could be a time where your partner, your spouse is under a lot of pressure from work. There's a lot that they have to get done, and they might be, bringing their problems to you, to the relationship. January 13th, there is a full moon in the 7th house. This could be letting go of a relationship that no longer serves you, maybe letting go of clients, business partners, or it could be you signing new documents, getting into new partnerships as well. Maybe there is an ending, beginning, but there is some insights coming to you, because on the 13th, Mars retrograde will trine Neptune. You could get intuitive insights, all the answers that you are seeking, and it could be about a business that you want to start or about a relationship. So pay attention to signs, songs, synchronicities. January 18th, Venus will come together with Saturn, and this will cause Saturn to star Venus. So 18th, 19th, we may see relationship issues, financial issues for yourself, but even around the world, where we're not feeling very confident when it comes to financial matters. We're not feeling confident when it comes to our values, the way that we are feeling in our relationships. But this is going to show you what needs to be repaired within relationships. This is happening in your 3rd house, with Venus being in your 3rd house for most of the month. The joy will come from hanging out with your friends, watching YouTube videos, promoting yourself, maybe buying yourself a new phone, a tablet, a software that you need, checking out new restaurants in your town, just becoming more social with people, watching more social media, reading. This will bring you a lot of joy this month, Capricorn. January 29th, we have a new moon in Aquarius. There's a brand new opening happening for you in the financial sector, maybe a new job, a new source of income, a new possession that is finally opening up to you, even a side hustle. But really be careful on January 29th, as Mercury will conjunct with Pluto, which can give a lot of intense communication. You could be researching something, but this can also bring out secrets within the family, secrets about money for you, or some possessions, and even fighting amongst people, amongst family members. So be careful, watch your words. I hope you have a great January and happy New Year, Capricorn. Aquarius, January will start out with Mars still retrograding in your 7th house of relationships. So your 10th house ruler and your 3rd house ruler are in your 7th house, and it's retrograding. There could be a business deal that you are working on that you need to redo, reanalyze, and this could be a time where your partner, your significant other, is starting up fights. They're more aggravated, agitated. Really be careful. January 3rd, when retrograde Mars is exactly opposite Pluto in Aquarius. This can bring up a lot of fighting, arguments, disagreements with a business partner around a business contract, or even with your spouse, your partner, or they could just be more demanding around this time. January 7th all the way until February 23rd, Mars is still retrograding, but in the sign of Cancer. It is now in your 6th house of health, habits, work, debt, and you could be working on a work project, maybe with other colleagues of yours. This can make you very competitive, but at the same time, when Mars is retrograde, we are feeling a bit more unmotivated. It is hard for us to be as motivated as when Mars is direct. And there's stuff that maybe you need to redo when it comes to bills, organization, your health, the doctors that you choose. This could also be you having issues with coworkers on a project that you are working on, or maybe you're just trying to promote yourself, something that you are doing. You have a lot of competitors, people who are competing against you, and it could just be on the job. But this can actually mean that you need to change something in your daily life, your daily habits, and Mars can help you do that. While it's retrograde, you could be going through a lot of different ways in order to make these changes, whether for health, for your budget, within the workplace. There could be a lot of things you need to redo, reanalyze in order to perfect them. There is a full moon in Cancer on January 13th of 2025, so your 6th house. And on the same day, Mars retrograde is trining Neptune, so you can get creative insights into what you need to do for health, for work, for organization, a project that you are working on. So pay attention to any and all signs, as you intuitively will understand how to proceed. This can also be you letting go of certain employees. You could also be letting go, finally paying off some debt and reorganizing your life in a whole new way. Maybe even for a lot of you, letting go of a bad habit and starting off the new year with good, healthy habits. That is what the 6th house is about. It's about our daily habits, our health, our budget, and you could be wanting to change things up completely and start fresh in this area. January 18th, Venus is conjuncting with Saturn, and this can bring up relationship issues, financial issues for the world, but even for you, there could seem to be some financial issue that comes up for review around the 18th or 19th, or you could just be feeling a bit more insecure. Because when Venus is together with Saturn, we feel a bit more insecure about finances, about ourselves. Venus is in your 2nd house for most of January, which means that you could be buying yourself some nice possessions. This is the time where you're going to enjoy shopping a little bit more, or you're at least going to find something that you will love for a really long time to come. This is a great month as well to update your look, update your wardrobe, your hair, Aquarius, because we have a new moon in Aquarius on January 29th, a brand new beginning. Some of you could be getting a new hairstyle, buying new stuff, updating your look completely, but be very cautious here on January 29th because Mercury will be conjuncting with Pluto, and Mercury rules your 8th house. This could be a total transformation of your looks for a lot of you Aquariuses, but at the same time, this can bring up secrets coming to light, your secrets, you learning about somebody else's secrets, maybe even your partner, somebody that you've been dealing with. You could learn some secrets or be doing some intense research about something. And this can also bring up around January 29th, even 28th, some intense communications with a partner, maybe about finances. So be cautious of some fights around the 28th, 29th, because when Mercury comes together with Pluto, a lot of times people can be saying a lot of things. We can be on edge, and it can piss a lot of people off. January is really a month where a lot of people can be more aggravated, more agitated. But right there with this new moon in the sign of Aquarius at the end of January and even February, a lot of you guys can be changing your hair, your looks, buying beautiful possessions. So it is really kind of a great month for you. A brand new beginning is opening up for you, Aquarius. I hope you have a great January and happy 2025. Pisces. January starts out with Mars still retrograding in your 6th house for that first week of January, where you could be maybe reanalyzing your bills, your debt, reorganizing, restructuring your whole life, especially your day-to-day activities. There could have been problems with employees or on the job where people made you angry throughout December, the first week of January, or even competitors. Especially watch for January 3rd, where retrograde Mars is going to be exactly opposed Pluto in Aquarius, where there could be secrets coming out, especially with the people that work with you, work for you, or even a competitor, an enemy makes its way into your life, or you feel like there's just somebody working against you at this time. You can just feel like that, especially when it comes to work. Now, this can also be you trying to restructure, reorganize paperwork for school, paperwork for travel, pay off loans, pay off debt, maybe set up a budget plan. But January 3rd, be careful of fighting at work or with employees, employers, even teachers, or with family members about finances, about money. Now, Mars will continue to be retrograde, but now it's going into the sign of Cancer from January 7th until February 23rd. And this is your 5th house of children, creativity, romance, the stock market. Some of you could be putting in money into the stock market right now because your 2nd house ruler is going into the 5th house. Or spending some money on your children, or spending money on schooling or travel. Maybe some of you even for your children. There's a creative project that you could be working on. With the 9th house ruler going into the 5th, maybe something that you want to publish, showcase to the world, and there's some hiccups that need to be redone, reanalyzed. But this can also be a time where there is more tension with children, with romantic partners. Some arguments could even be coming about, and it could have to do with money, with school, with travel. So be on the lookout for that. Be cautious for that, because January is a month where a lot of people could be more angry. And when Mars is retrograde, we sometimes don't know what to do, because Mars is the planet of action. And when it's retrograde, we could be more sluggish. We don't know how to take action. There could be confusion between what we want, what we desire, and how we go about it. We don't exactly know how to go about it, and everybody can sense, a little bit of anger is in the air in January, even February. So be cautious of your communication with your partners, your romantic partners, and with your children. There is a full moon in Cancer on January 13th. This is your 5th house. And on this day, we have Mars retrograde trining Neptune. You can get creative insights, intuitive insights into what you should do about any problems that you have with a creative project, with investing. January 13th, there is a full moon in the sign of Cancer. So your 5th house, and Mars is trining Neptune. Intuitive insights could be coming to you about a creative project, about a romantic partner even. So this is also a time where you could be finally finishing up a creative project for some of you, or some kind of planning that you were doing, maybe publishing some of your creative work. With Sun trining Neptune, you are wanting to experience something new, meeting somebody new, falling in love, taking a relationship to the next level. for some of you, or letting go of old relationships that you know are kind of going nowhere, because a lot of times in a full moon, we are releasing what we no longer want to hold on to. Be more cautious January 18th with Venus conjuncting Saturn. You can be feeling a little bit down about yourself, about your relationships, even financial situation. All around the world, finances could be down right around the 18th, because when Saturn conjuncts with Venus, it starves all the good qualities of Venus. On or around that day, we can all be feeling like we aren't where we want to be, or relationship issues can come up for review for some of us, or even issues with our finances. But with Venus being in your sign, this is the month in January, maybe even February. For some of you, you could be changing your looks, buying new clothes, refreshing your look. And with Saturn in your first house as well, it's really reconstructing your life. You want to now spend money on things that will stand the test of time, things that will last. You are more interested in quality versus quantity, and that's even in your romantic relationships, Pisces. But this is a month of beautifying yourself. You are attracting a lot of people to you. A lot of you could even be taking a romantic relationship to the next level, making it official. So a good month for dating, attracting people to you if you are looking for that. January 29th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. Now really watch January 29th, because Mercury will conjunct with Pluto. So the ruler of your 7th house is conjuncting with Pluto, and this can be a huge transformation in a relationship. You could learn a secret about somebody that you have been dating. A secret could come out about your partner, your spouse, or even they could find something out about you. You could be doing some intense research behind the scenes, but this can bring on intense communication, especially with a partner, with a spouse. So be mindful of that, because this can be a day of a lot of arguments, intense conversations, but there's a brand new beginning opening up here for you. And this beginning could start out a little rocky with that Mercury conjunct Pluto. So you could transform something, maybe negative thinking patterns, negative patterns that you've had in your relationships could be transformed. And they could be transformed because of something that comes out, something that you learn, this conversation or a fight. It could start out like that, and then everything can get better, a new opening even for a creative project. Your 4th house ruler of home and family is also, Mercury. So meeting in the 12th house with Pluto could be family secrets revealed, a huge change in your home and family life, a huge transformation, maybe even transforming your home. Or it could be even losses on account of a partner, business partner, home renovation project, something like that. So there is a new beginning opening up behind the scenes. But with all this energy, I would say if you are working on something, or maybe starting a relationship in secret behind the scenes, or doing something for your home, I would watch what you say to other people. People can be more on edge this month, and there could be a lot of unnecessary arguments caused sometimes by jealousy even. So watch out for that, Pisces. I hope you have a great January and happy 2025. Like and subscribe for more.